Before we go, here's a quick look at what's coming after Kate. Hawkeye, Operation Future Imperfect. Clint's story picks up after the conclusion of Kate's operation and brings us face to face with a distant future where all hope is lost. Clint and the Operation Hawkeye Future Imperfect will be available early 2021. We'll have more details, including in-depth first looks at his gameplay in the very near future.
Welcome to the end of the world.
What's going on, Avengers? In today's video, we're going to go over the new Wasteland biome that's coming with Hawkeye's Future Imperfect operation. On February 9th, the developers released a blog talking a little bit about the inspiration when creating the Wasteland and dropped a few before and after concept art photos. It goes to say, "Hi everyone, we're Tor and Oscar from the development teams at Crystal Dynamics and Nix's Software, here to give insight into how we created a new biome, the Wastelands. It's a region of Future Imperfect that is based on the Old Man Hawkeye comics, especially the Eye for an Eye arc. In our timeline, the Cree, a hostile alien civilization, attacks Earth for reasons unknown. A global battle ensues, causing irreparable destruction and killing most life on the planet. The Cree are deploying their giant sentries, ravaging Earth's defenses. Humans manage to take down some of them, and their metal carcasses are still littered across the deserted world. The devastation was so large that massive land masses shifted, causing catastrophic damage to the world and destroying most of their infrastructure. The atmosphere has become so polluted that the sun is rarely visible, causing any kind of life to be suppressed. There is almost no vegetation, no animal life, and barely any humans left." Okay, so that first part there, it's cool to see that they're mentioning what comic they pulled inspiration from, Old Man Hawkeye. So I've read Future Imperfect Hulk back in the 90s. I think it was a 93 run, and the Wasteland in that comic book is much more barren. And I went back, I have read the first 3 issues of Old Man Hawkeye, and the Wasteland in Old Man Hawkeye is more urban. He's going blind in that series, and he even meets with a doctor, and they have technology there. So it is a wasteland, and it is somewhat barren in places, but technology is still thriving. There are still structures in certain areas. He even gives Wolverine's kid an Xbox for him to play with or something like that. So there is technology. So I wouldn't be surprised to see what they call a wasteland almost integrated with torn down buildings, maybe see some little Avengers holograms or technology in a sense. You got a lot of Cree Centuries laying around. I do wonder if we'll be able to walk inside them or view them up close. I almost expect it to be something like the destroyed shield installation in the Utah Badlands. I would like it to have the building structures peppered throughout an open area to give off more of an open world feel. They show a rundown gas station, so I really hope we get to walk through that gas station. And I hope we progress down the street into another building structure that is run down, full of rubble, or even a Cree Century. I don't want to just get close to it. I want to walk through it. They say that they're scattered throughout the lands, so I think it would be really cool if we could walk up the arm, through the head, out the shoulder, to the other side, to the open area with more buildings and more of these points of interest. Speaking of the Cree, they say that the Cree Centuries were an early focus point for us when designing the Wastelands. There is one century in the Reassemble campaign, and it was a terrifying herald of what was to come. In the Wastelands, there are lots of them strewn across the landscapes, and these are just the ones that were defeated in the battle. Some have landed on top of structures, others are half buried in the landscape. So to me, this heavily implies we might be able to get that walkthrough experience. And I also like how they mentioned this Cree Century from the Reassemble campaign. If you remember, once you defeat MODOK, who is inside the Cree Century, in the after credits mid-cut scene, the Cree Century releases a beacon into space, and if you go into the intelligent files, the file labeled "The Source of Terrigen" is a good place to start with the whole origin of the Cree Century on Earth and how Monica is involved and what she knows about that. She literally mentions the Kree's galaxy by name in one of the files, so it's very interesting. She also mentions Wakanda in one of her files, so a lot of stuff kind of gets popping in these files, and I think here with this Operation Hawkeye Future Imperfect, we might get to unfold some of these story beats that fans are waiting on. The creator showcased an early concept showing the area to be a sandy gray, but after playing it extensively, they settled for more of a colorful orange that has more of a punch, which is cool seeing the difference. I actually like the orange a lot better than the gray, even though the gray could seem super dark, but I think the orange fits the overall aesthetic of the game. They went on describing their guiding principles, saying it should be disorienting since tectonic plates have moved around. New canyons have been created, nuclear bombs have gone off, probably from the Cree War and Human War. That is why the Wasteland is its own region on the war table. It is an undefined place. There should be points of interest every so often to allow players to view the world and immerse themselves in it. There are different types of POIs. Some are remains of ordinary human life like ruined buildings or a city block, while others are destroyed infrastructures like collapsed tunnels with a highway running through or a decimated bridge. So with them describing some of these points of interest, it does maybe sound like we might get a little bit of a mix-up of what these open areas are as a biome, because with this tease everything does sound good. I really like what I'm hearing, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but the difference is what I imagine compared to what they actually give us. If they can reach probably 70 or 80% of my expectations, I think we might have a good thing here, and of course a good story to go along with it. They end it with saying they'll have more concepts to share with the Hawkeye's War Table deep dive on February 16th, and they say that they're going to get more into spoiler territory with whatever that means exactly. I just hope that they're not giving the entire story away. So anyways guys, yeah, that's going to be it for the Wasteland blog today. Yeah, to me there was a lot more Cree than I expected, and I was wondering, and I'm super curious on how that may lead into Black Panther, if that's the next character. I'm curious to see what role Maestro Hulk plays. Did he destroy the Avengers, or were the heroes destroyed in the nuclear fallout of the Cree Human War? And because of all this that interested me, I have been reading most of these comics. Fractions run on Hawkeye, Old Man Hawkeye. I'll be reading the infamous Iron Man, at least the first few issues, just if that skin comes out here soon. Yeah, guys. So anyways, I guess that's all positive, reading comics and stuff like that. So yeah, Hawkeye's deep dive, February 16th. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see you guys there. I'm Machine Gun Mike, out.